Finally! Well, I guess technically last night it was finally, but we're talking about it on the channel today. After the entire offseason, after the entire month of April, we had spring training, we had May, but June comes around and finally, Craig Kimbrel signs with the team, and Dallas Keuchel, he may be on the way too. It has been so incredibly long. This was the bread and butter on the channel for a while. We were always doing reactions to moves, but it's been a long time since I've done one of these. But we're back because we have some stuff to talk about, and I'm super excited, even though it doesn't involve my team, the New York Mets. Kimbrel has signed with the Chicago Cubs. Keuchel's on his way to sign with a bunch of different teams. Finally, we have some juice with some baseball news, not just games, but we actually got some moves going on here. Two of the biggest free agents from the 2019 offseason have finally signed during June. Now, before I do get going in depth into my thoughts and opinions on all these moves and rumors as well on this video, make sure to leave a like on it. That's the best way to show your support on the channel. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. The trade deadline is right around the corner, so if you love seeing trade reactions, trade rumors, free agency, all that kind of stuff, along with regular baseball, this is the place to be. Make sure you hit that sub button. Remember to get in the comment section down below. Cubs fans, Yankees fans, Cardinals fans, whoever you are, let me know your thoughts and opinions about the Kimbrel deal and the Keuchel rumors in the comment section. And as always, remember you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description down both of those. I'm always talking baseball over there, so it's a great way to keep in touch as well. Now, let's get to the juice of this video, the actual moves. Let's start talking about them. And of course, we're starting off the one that actually has happened, and that is Craig Kimbrel signing a 3-year, $43 million contract with the Chicago Cubs. So here's how the contract works out. Like I said, 3 years including this season. There's a 4th-year option that's going to be by the club. If they take it, he gets paid $16 million. If they don't, he gets a $1 million buyout. For this year, he's going to make $10 million, and then he makes $16 million in 2020 and 2021, which honestly, a lot of people are saying the Cubs overpaid for Craig Kimbrel. I don't understand how they think that. I think this is actually a very good job by the Chicago Cubs. This is a great pickup here. Not only because they need a lot of help in that bullpen, and we'll get more into that after we go over all the financials, but this isn't a ridiculous contract. Keep in mind, this is a player who during the offseason wanted upwards of $100+ million and a long-term 5-6-year contract as a closer. And the Cubs, while the offer was a little bit easier to make because the market just hasn't been there for him, so clearly whatever he thought he was worth is not what he's going to get. But to get him for 3 years, $43 million is, I think, like a really friendly contract for the Chicago Cubs, especially if Kimbrel performs like he has in the past. If he continues to show that he's one of the top closers, if not the best closer in Major League Baseball, I don't think that you can complain about this, especially as a Cub fan, because those fans know that the end of the game right now is a little bit sketchy for the Cubs. They need all the help they can get, especially if they want to make a push for the playoffs or the National League Central crown. To put it into perspective, Wade Davis got 3 years, $52 million. Now, I understand that Craig Kimbrel is basically only going to be playing for half a year since the Cubs signed him in June, but they're paying him $10 million this year, $16 for the rest. Still, think about that money. You're giving Craig Kimbrel basically the same amount for Wade Davis, when Wade Davis was a very good closer at the time, but he's not Craig Kimbrel's status. He didn't have that kind of same consistency that Kimbrel still has. You've got Aroldis Chapman, who's getting 5 years, $86 million. So really, when you break it down, the Cubs actually got a really good deal here with Craig Kimbrel. 3 years, $43 million is nothing to complain about at all, especially if it's going to help you win, which, in my personal opinion, I think that this makes the Cubs a heck of a lot better team than they currently were right now, because they can swing the bat. Their starting pitching, it's still a little bit iffy, still a little bit inconsistent. You'll get some really good starts out of guys, and then their age will start to show, or they'll just get inconsistent again. But that bullpen was always the biggest issue with them right now. It's just, is it good enough? And adding Kimbrel to that 9th inning to be the guy who's going to close out every single game for them is a huge addition. You know who's been closing games for the Cubs this year? Steve Cishek, Pedro Strop, Tyler Chatwood's got to save. I mean, they've just been looking for anybody to close out the game because that bullpen, it's not very good. Cishek and Kinsler have been some of their better relievers with ERAs under 3.5. I think Cishek is what, 3.12, and Kinsler's 2.67. But then you've got Brad Brock, who they got this offseason. He hasn't been very good. 5.11 ERA, 1.865 whip. Oh my goodness, I didn't know he was actually that bad. Kyle Ryan hasn't been good. 5.03, 1.475 whip. Carl Edwards Jr. has been a letdown, almost 6 ERA. A whip under 1, weirdly enough, but he's given up a ton of runs. Mike Montgomery hasn't been great, 4.7 ERA. Pedro Strop hasn't been great, 4.6 ERA. I mean, pretty much anybody that they've brought into that bullpen has struggled. And yes, I know they have Brandon Morrow, who's hurt, and he's just starting to throwing again, but you can't rely on Brandon Morrow. One, because he's hurt, and two, I don't think he's really a top closer. He's a good guy to have in the bullpen at the back end, but as your final guys in the 9th inning, I think you have a lot more faith in Craig Kimbrel, and here's why. Because Craig Kimbrel is possibly one of the best closers of all time. And before Yankee fans start commenting, what about Mariano? I mean, technically, Kimbrel has a better ERA and whip than Mariano Rivera, but I'm still giving the GOAT crown to Mariano. But Craig Kimbrel, let me tell you, if he keeps it up for his entire career, he's coming for you, Mariano. Kimbrel's pitched 9 seasons in Major League Baseball between the Braves, the Red Sox, the Padres. That's right, everybody forgets about when he was with San Diego, when they made all those crazy big moves that offseason, and then they're like, yeah, let's get them all out of here. The highest ERA Kimbrel's ever had in a season is 3.4. His career ERA is 1.91. Wow, disgusting. He's led the league in saves 4 times. He's gonna get you 30, 40 plus saves a year. Career whip, under 1.92. So he lets up less than 1 runner an inning, whether it's through a walk or a hit. That's exactly what you want out of a closer. You don't want any drama. You just want him to get in there, get the job done, end the game, secure the W, secure the bag alert. Yeah, I hated that I said that too. Hits per 9, 4.8 for his career. Home runs per 9, 0.6. Walks per 9, 3.5. And strikeouts per 9, 14.7. This dude, when he's on the mound, is one of the, if not the, most dominant closer in all of baseball. And the Cubs got him for pretty much market value, the right amount. They didn't overpay. If anything, they might have even underpaid if you compare him to Chapman and Wade Davis and some of the other guys what they've gotten. So if you're complaining about the Cubs signing Craig Kimbrel for this amount of money, I think you're a little bit crazy, because I think personally it's a great signing. I think this honestly pushes them ahead of the Cardinals right now, because the Cardinals, not looking great. Like we all expected, their pitching is going to be their biggest issue. And the Cubs had an issue with pitching, and you know what? They've addressed it. They've now secured that 9th inning role. They've got a guy back there who's going to be consistent. He's going to go out there every time the Cubs have a lead. He's going to shut the door 99% of the time. He's really good, Craig Kimbrel. I think this is a fantastic signing for the Cubs. It's big news for them. They're really pushing for it. So Cubs fans, that's an absolute A+ for me. Good job. I wanted the Mets to get Craig Kimbrel. We need all the bullpen help we can get to. And then on to the other free agent that was one of the top guys in 2019 and still hasn't found a team. We're talking about Dallas Keuchel, and it seems like it's pretty much down to 2 teams right now. The New York Yankees and the Atlanta Braves. And honestly, I'm still going, Milwaukee, where are you at, Brewers? How are you not hopping on Dallas Keuchel? How are you not getting any of these guys? Why do you think this pitching staff is good enough to continue? It's frustrating, but we're not talking about the Brewers. We're talking about Dallas Keuchel with the Braves and Yankees. There's been multiple reporters coming out. I believe Mark Feinsand and some other guys have also said that basically it's down to the Yankees and the Braves for the teams that are interested in signing Dallas Keuchel, or at least are making the hardest push, and it seems like the Braves are the front runner right now. The Yankees are still pushing hard, but it looks like the Braves are coming in the hardest. They want Dallas Keuchel badly, and it makes a lot of sense. The Braves definitely need some starting pitching help. The Yankees do too, but more for depth reasons. I mean, obviously he's not a depth pitcher, but now you don't necessarily have to worry about CC Sabathia every 5 days, or having a guy like Domingo Germán every 5 days, or having a guy like Luis Cessa come out there. It just adds more depth. You always want to have extra pitching, but in the Braves scenario, they need to get a legitimate number 1 right now. Julio Teheran's pitching nice. He's got a 3.28 ERA. That's definitely solid, but you don't think he's necessarily going to be right around that 3 probably for the whole year. He's probably closer to the high 3s, lower 4s, but still, that's a good ERA, just not for an ace. Max Fried has been fantastic for them in the time that he's been up. He looks like he's going to be a solid pitcher. Kevin Gausman has been pretty atrocious. The Baltimore guys are not doing well this year. Gausman's doing terrible for the Braves, and Brock's doing terrible for the Cubs. Gausman, not great. Mike Soroka has been pretty dominant in the time that he's been up, so that's a good start. Fultonavich, who was supposed to kind of be their ace, him and Teheran are kind of the top-end guys in that rotation. Fultonavich has looked horrendous. And then you've also got guys like Sean Newcomb and Touki Toussaint who can be starters. But you add a guy like Dallas Keuchel to that starting rotation, that is a legitimate number 1 right there. Now, he's not the best ace in all of baseball, but he's a guy who every 5 days gives you a chance to win a ball game no matter what. He's a good pitcher. So if the Braves can get Dallas Keuchel, that's huge, because I personally think right now, if I was doing my predictions, the Braves are the favorite to win the NL East. That's right, Philly fans. I still think you're dropping. But I think the Braves are going to jump over them. The Braves are probably the best team in that division right now, in my opinion. And if they add a guy like Dallas Keuchel, it's going to be tough to beat them. That offense plus that pitching, it's going to be really tough. And especially imagine if they can get just like another little bullpen arm here or there. Oh, that Braves team is going to be very good. Acuna, Albies, Swanson, Freeman. I mean, every position they got someone good. So we talked about Craig Kimbrel. Big fan of that move by the Chicago Cubs. As much as I want him for the Mets, he went to the Cubs, so it's not going to hurt us necessarily immediately. I mean, the Cubs are still a competitor because we have to play for the wild card, but it's not in the NL East. so I'm okay with it. Keuchel looks like he's either going to the Braves or the Yankees. Good move by either team who gets one of those. I mean, these are all-star type players. They need to be on a team, and I'm glad that they're finally signing contracts. Just stay away from the NL East, please. And the Yankees. Go sign for a team that no one cares about. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on the Kimbrel signing, the Keuchel rumors down in the comment section below. So make sure you get down there. Let me know your opinions. Voice yourself. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, this is the place to be, so make sure you hit that sub button. Remember to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it and you want to see more of this kind of content. It's the best way to show your support to me. And as always, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description down below to both of those. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys know the drill. YouTube recommends you watch this one right here, as well as this is my most recent upload. So click through those if you have not yet seen them. I promise they're worth your time. They are what we like to call bangers around here. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.